Welcome to the Goshen County Library and our virtual Music Monday. We are so excited to have you join us as we celebrate the traditions of Christmas music and storytelling. Tonight we have the Glasses and Paul Brady joining us for music, and Carolyn McBurney, who will be reading a story.
Jolly Christmas, it's the best time of the year. And I don't know if there'll be snow, but have a cup of cheer. Have a holly jolly Christmas. And when you walk down the streets of Torrington, say hello to friends you know and everyone you meet. Oh, the mistletoe hung where you can see. Somebody waits for you, kiss her once for me. Have a holly jolly Christmas. And in case you didn't hear, and oh by golly, have a holly jolly Christmas this year. Mistletoe hung where you can see. Somebody waits for you, kiss her once for me. Have a holly jolly Christmas. And in case you didn't hear, and oh by golly, have a holly jolly Christmas this year.
Sleigh bells ring, are you listening? In the lane, snow is glistening. A beautiful sight, we're happy tonight, walking in a winter wonderland. Gone away is the bluebird, here to stay is the new bird. He sings a love song as we go along, walking in a winter wonderland. In the meadow we could build a snowman and pretend that he is Parson Brown. He'll say, are you married? We'll say, no man, but you can do the job when we're in town. Later on we'll conspire as we dream by the fire to face Later on we'll conspire as we dream by the fire to face unafraid the plans that we made, walking in a winter wonderland.
1, 2, 3. A long time ago in Bethlehem, so the Holy Bible says, Mary's boy child Jesus Christ was born on Christmas Day. While shepherds watched their flocks by night, they saw a bright new shining star. They thought they heard a choir sing, the music seemed to come from afar. And hark now, hear the angels sing, a new king born today. And man will live forevermore because of Christmas Day. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. 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 Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Hark now, hear the angels sing, a new king born today, and man will live forevermore because of Christmas Day. Joseph and his wife Mary came to Bethlehem that night. They found no place to bear her child, not a single room was inside. By and by they found a little nook in a stable all forlorn. And in a manger cold and dark, Mary's little boy child was born. So hark now, hear the angels sing, a new king born today. And man will live forevermore because of Christmas Day. Trumpets sound and angels sing, listen what they say. That man will live forevermore because of Christmas Day. Because of Christmas Day.
Merry Christmas. My name's Carolyn McBurney, and I am glad to join you today to share with you one of my favorite stories because I grew up in Texas. And one of the stories that I probably wasn't introduced to until I had my child, but we used to have fun reading this. So this is Texas Night Before Christmas. 'Twas the night before Christmas in the cold wintry fog. Nary a critter was moving, not a lone prairie dog. Then from out of the north a breeze gave a stir, an icy cold blast swirled the fog in a blur. A blue Texas norther roared over the plains. The cold fairly whistled through the loose window panes. I poked at the fireplace to stir up a flame. The embers glowed redder, but the cold stayed the same. Ma fixed up her dinner to be ready next day and thought about Christmas a few hours away. Our scuffed boots were assembled on the floor pair by pair where Santy would find 'em, for soon he would be there. The young'uns were bundled down snug in their covers, a sprout of a girl and her two older brothers. So me and my long johns and Ma in her gown warmed up by the fire before we laid ourselves down. Then from out on the range there came such a ruckus, I ran to the window to see what the fuss was. Through the blue winter blizzard a scene came to sight. I squinted to see, for her weren't much light. Here stomping and snorting and pawing on the ground were 8 scrounging longhorns stampeding around in front of a wagon piled full as could be with boxes and bundles as high as a tree. Look at there. Then a bellering yell soon set them all straight from a fat little old ramrod who put fear in the eight. Well, they weren't really scared. No harm would he cause, for their longhorn head honcho was old Santa Claus. He got their attention and called them by name. Hey, Leadfoot and Walleye, get up there, Culhane. Come on, Gimp and Flop-Ear and Scarface, start dragging. Get on, Sam and High Hips. Let's move this here wagon. Old Leadfoot, he bellered and lifted his head. Then straight on they trampled through Ma's flower bed. They laid the gate flat, and the clothesline went too. Nothing stood in their way as they flat-footed through. Santy pulled them up short on top of the roof after wrecking the porch with them clodhopper hoofs. They rocked our sod shanty, the dirt sifted down, and then through the chimney came Santy with a bound. He was dressed all in rawhide with a Stetson on top. His big Texas boots hit the floor with a clop. He stood his great belly and stomped with each foot, which knocked off a shower of mud, ash, and soot. His eyes were both squinty and his skin was like leather from too much exposure to the raw Texas weather. He looked as tough as a horseshoe, but I felt no alarm, 'cause a wind of his eye showed he'd do us no harm. A feed bag of toys he flung from his back. With nary a word, he opened his sack. He filled all the boots and piled them high, then looked out the window and up at the sky. The cold Texas norther still whistled and blew, but more young'uns were waiting. His work wasn't through. It was hard just to leave and walk through the door to face all them longhorns and the cold as before. He drank some hot mud and hunched close to the heat to soak up the warmth and thaw his cold feet. He could no longer dally or put off the chore, so he gave us a wink and pushed through the door. He prodded the longhorns to get on the go, and the wagon took off through the fog and the snow. He called o'er the norther 'fore he went out of sight. Merry Christmas, yeah? And y'all have a good night. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room. And heaven and nature
And heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing,
and heaven and nature sing. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother. Christmas to y'all.
Merry Christmas.